All right.
All right. Just say what's up. Hey, my name is this. Hello.
Hi. Okay, so we already kind of like talked a little bit, but I'm gonna reintroduce myself. My name is Tay, founder of Black Alchemy. What's your name again?
I go by. My name is Matthew. I go by Precuresor mentality out of New Jersey.
Nice. You're from New Jersey?
Yep.
You're born and raised in New Jersey?
Yep.
Nice. Okay. How long have you been producing?
Oh, I mean, technically my dad got me a license of FL Studio when I was in 7th grade.
Really?
Of course, I was atrocious that I had, and just quickly chopped the sample up around that.
Nice.
And that worked. I remember the last time I participated in the Beat Club, I made the beat, loaded it onto my SP, and then immediately shot over to another gig and played the beat like on the spot. So
That's why I was always curious about like freestyling and stuff like that when people are like able to do like impromptu like beat sets, like how, but like hearing like how you streamline your process, it makes sense. Like different artists have different tactics that they use to get to that point. I wanted to ask you, what is a piece of advice you would give to someone first starting out who wants to get into producing? What advice would you tell them?
I would say
What to look at first, because music production
Yeah.
is a big monster, a big
Oh,
domain.
man.
So what would you be the first thing? Someone who doesn't have any musical theory experience, maybe YouTube.
YouTube, absolutely. The series Rhythm Roulette has actually
Rhythm
been,
Roulette.
Rhythm Roulette has
Okay.
actually been a huge inspiration for me.
Okay.
Are you familiar with that?
No, but I'm gonna look into it.
Okay, so yeah, Rhythm
I need
Roulette,
homework.
That's correct. Rhythm Roulette is cool because the idea is they take a producer, they bring the producer to a record shop, blindfold them. The producer will pick 3 records while blindfolded, and then he has to try to make a beat using those.
Really?
So it's just super cool, like seeing the workflow of other producers.
Yeah.
And seeing how they do it. I mean, also talking about like music theory. There's a ton of music theory tutorials on YouTube. Ton of drum programming tutorials. Even as much as I might stay away from like sample chop tutorials because I want to try to like chop samples my own way.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that there isn't still something to be learned from it.
Right.
So I would absolutely start there.
Okay.
And also make sure that your drums are tight.
What do you mean by
So
tight?
when I first started, I was using the stock FL Studio drums because, like I said, my dad had gotten me a license for FL Studio.
Okay.
And I was just using the drums that came with it.
Yeah.
And years ago, there was a message board called the Sphere of Hip Hop message board, and I would be uploading stuff to it, and I would get feedback like, "Hey, your drums sound like you're using the FL Studio drums," and I'm like, "Well, yes, actually." Mind you, I was in like middle school, maybe early high school or something like that, so I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
And also, I don't know how big YouTube was at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe I was just oblivious. Or I really, like, a lot of the stuff was, like, self-taught.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there wasn't, especially where I grew up, there was, like, no one to really, like, teach me how to, like, make beats, like, in person or anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I then started learning about, like, breaks, and, because someone had, like, posted a link to, like, I don't know if I'm getting in trouble for saying this, but someone had posted like a link to like a zip file full of like break beats, and I was like, okay, so this is interesting. So then I started teaching myself about like chopping breaks and also like looping breaks. Lately, what I've been doing is I've been using a break, but I've been layering like one shots over the break, which tends to give it a little bit more texture, but also a little more oomph, especially like if the kick isn't quite.
I love the kick. I'm glad you said that because like I love everything that I want to produce and I love to hear is like on the lower end of the frequency spectrum.
Yeah.
So everything I want to hear, you have to have, specified, drum kit. But I didn't even know, like, first starting out, like you said, using the stock of what you have, using what you have, so you don't know until somebody points it out, say, your drums smell like shit.
Exactly.
It's like, my bad, bro, my bad. I didn't know that there was other drums out there.
Oh yeah, nah. There's so many like resources now.
Yeah.
I mean, naturally, you can like buy records and try to find breaks off of there, which I will say some of the hardest breaks I've used have come from records.
Okay. And when you say breaks, break it down for a filthy casual or someone who doesn't understand the jargon and the terminology. What does a break mean?
So the way I would describe it, a break is like a section of the song where it's only drums.
Okay.
So that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Like no other instruments, maybe a bass line, but the focus is on the drums. So
Okay.
the idea being to loop or chop up the breaks and get the drums out of there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
Got you. Kind of like isolating sounds and instruments.
And to be fair, that I said like vinyl records are a good source for those, but there are still other places out there. Some of my favorite breaks came from.
My bad. I told you, bro. I'm sorry.
I'll quickly plug Kersey and Castle. I love using their breaks. AJ Hall has some dope breaks as well.
Okay.
And Shroom also has some dope breaks too.
Okay, I'm gonna write all of this down once we cut off the
Yeah,
camera
that's
because I need homework. So
Yep.
I'm mental note of all this. Okay.
And also a quick shout out to the Drum Broker because they sell like drum break kits, but they also sell samples that you can chop up as well.
Okay. Well, thank you for the wealth of information
My
because
pleasure.
I want to talk more about this. We're gonna talk a little bit more off camera,
All right.
but he's cutting us off. But yeah, it was a good conversation. I learned a lot. I want to learn more, so I hope to like continue this conversation when you get a break after your set or whatever.
Absolutely.
But yeah, let's stay in contact, and I would love to get a picture with you.
Sure.
Just as memorabilia, you know,
Absolutely.
to remember the moment. But yeah.
Alrighty.
All right, I'm sorry. I know I talk too much.